This is Marcus Washington for making the cut. Look, everyone knows that Washington Wizards have this desire to give Bradley Beal the supermax to get him to stay in Washington. Ted Leonsis has made it a priority. Tom Shepard's made it a priority. They talked about, oh, we're not going to trade him, blah, blah, blah. It is yet another mistake the Washington Wizards organization is going to make if they give him the supermax. Bill is eligible for the 5-year, $246 million extension, which could cripple the franchise if they're wrong about a player who is declining as we speak, who defensively has not been good, who's offensively has kind of plateaued and is starting on that downward spiral. And to be frank with you, when you look at Washington's roster, they cannot sustain being wrong on this. The Corey Kisperts, the Denny Ardijas, and the Roy Hachimuras are not going to get it done if you make a mistake of giving him, meaning Bill, that much money. You also have to determine what you're going to do with Kyle Kuzma and Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, two pieces that, again, is sort of like Spencer Dinwiddie, a guy that you moved off of, and don't even get me started on Porzingis. There's a reason why he's on his third team, and there is no guarantee that him and his brother is going to want to stay in Washington. And if they don't, they will go full-scale diva on you. And then Washington will be locked in to a bad contract for the next 5 years. At best right now, if they give them that extension, you're looking at competing between 6 and 8. It is not an extension that's going to allow you to make the fixes around the edges. And because Washington did not draft to get the next superstar, and they drafted just to have a piece that was good enough to be in the NBA, if this Beal thing doesn't work out, you are looking at full-scale mediocrity. Those guys that you've surrounded him with, that you've taken in the lottery, aren't going to get it done, guys. That's not how it works. You can be a sum of all parts team if you make the draft picks and get someone like a Scotty Barnes or someone like that. But Roy Hachimura, are you kidding me? Corey Kispert, no offense, but that's not going to work either. Those are guys you put on a team like Milwaukee, a team that's already laid out with their top 3, top 4 guys, or Boston, who has 2 guys who are superstars in Brown and Tatum, and then you stick that guy around Marcus Smart and your Horfords. But not on this roster. Washington, they were going to do this. They had to try to hit home runs with their lottery picks, which they intentionally didn't. They want to put together a team of the United Nations. They want to get as many international players as possible. And I don't understand why, from a basketball point of view, that such emphasis has been put in of getting international players. And don't give me this, oh, they're easier to coach and all that. Stop it. No, they're not. They have been just as much divas. Look at Luka Doncic. No one screams, yells, begs, whines at the officials more than him. Stop it. And I'd like to think that having the international players is not PR play. Maybe it is, because you passed up on a lot of good people who could have contributed to this team that would have allowed you to take that Bill contract with more confidence. Now, I've said this from day one. I would have traded Bill. I still would trade Beal. I try to find a trade and then rebuild the right way. I don't care if Leonsis doesn't want to stomach another rebuild. If you don't, sell that team. Sell that team. Because the way you're doing it is never going to get the Wizards to a place in the Washington, D.C. area where enough people care about them. And that's on ownership. That is on ownership. It's on keeping Ernie Grunfeld too long. It's on mediocre coaches. It's on signing mediocre veterans because you don't want to take a risk on a young American player. This is why the Wizards are where they are. And if they give Beal that contract, it's going to be why they're going to stay where they're going to stay. It's Marcus Washington.